In this smartphone show, news of the Nokia 5700 Express music phone and lots more, hands-on review of iMate's Jack 4 business communicator, and a look at video editing on a smartphone with the Nokia N95. Let's start with the new hardware. On the Symbian front, Nokia has announced the 5700 Express Music smartphone with a twistable keypad reminiscent of the 3250 that I reviewed way back in Show 7. The 5700 is a 3G quad-band GSM phone with a 2-megapixel camera, micro SD card support, stereo speakers and a 2.5mm audio jack with a 3.5mm adapter. It runs S60 3rd edition Feature Pack 1 like the Nokia N95, and on the music front it supports MP3, AAC, WMA, etc. Aside from the unique twist from camera to music to phone, there's a dedicated audio chip for improved music performance, apparently. On the Windows Mobile side, it's less of a twist and more of a fold. The brushed metal HTC Kaiser, or P4550, has the same form factor as the existing HTC QWERTY sliders, but with a screen that folds upwards for a mini laptop look and feel. I do wonder how robust such a slide and fold could be, and I'll get one in for review ASAP. Away from hardware, Symbian OS 9.5 has been announced in a high-profile way, although as usual it'll be at least a year before we see a device based on it in the wild. 9.5 includes big performance improvements with reductions in requirements on memory, processor and battery, faster device startup time and faster application startup time, up to 75% faster. There's also now an integrated SQL database and POSIX, which will help developers port apps quickly over from other platforms. Finally, there's extended syncing with Microsoft Exchange and Lotus Notes. Maybe we'll get category support at long last. Microsoft hasn't been idle, unveiling 2 potential interfaces from its labs. Deepfish is a graphically heavy browser alternative, with a server creating image layouts of the pages you want and then squirting across just the tiles you need, effectively letting you zoom in and out. It's early days for the idea though, and to be honest, I much prefer S60's web, which uses the same page layout and zoom ideas, but without the server overhead and with full compatibility with all, not just a few, websites. Still, as I say, it's early days. Also from Microsoft, ZenJui is aimed at the mobile web despite the use of graphical tiles rather than text hyperlinks. Each centre tile has up to 8 others around it, which in turn, etc., etc. As with Nokia's Widsets idea, this requires support from sites and content providers to make their info available in ZenJui compatible form. Finally, a glimpse at a thing of beauty, the first TV ad and a gloriously arty design video for the Nokia N76, out-razoring the razor, with full N-Series and S60 3rd edition Feature Pack 1 specs in a gleaming ultra-thin form factor. This thing isn't just going to wow the folks in the USA, I think this will do well across the world. And we'll get one in for review very soon. Check out the URLs for the full videos. Hot off the manufacturing line, I have an exclusive first hands-on with iMate's new Jack 4. Yes, I know what you're thinking, it's only been a matter of months since we saw the Jack, and even less since the Jack 3. None of them are going to set the world alight in terms of style or grace, as with all of iMate's models since they parted company with designers and manufacturers HTC. But the specification's been gradually creeping up, and I wanted to wait and review the absolute top of the line, with the Jack 4 having a 2.8-inch screen, built-in GPS and Wi-Fi. Although there are passing similarities to Nokia's E61i, reviewed in Smartphone Show 27, and HTC's Excalibur and rebadged versions in Show 23, the Jack 4 is very much a slab design with no curves or concessions. It's black and has a rubberized finish on top of the plastic case, screaming business communications to its target market. At its heart is the new Windows Mobile 6, many of whose new tweaks were also covered in Show 27. It's slightly more polished than Windows Mobile 5, but there's the continued absence of a task manager from this, the professional version, and there's also its fair share of oddities, such as less than perfect Bluetooth object support to and from other devices. With Windows Mobile being so well known though, even in this slightly less familiar landscape form factor, it's perhaps the hardware that's most interesting here. There's a built-in GPS, much like the Nokia N95 that was the special focus of the last show. It seems this is becoming de rigueur for top-end smartphones. Like the N95 though, the GPS's efficiency wasn't up to that in a standalone receiver. In my tests it was considerably slower than the N95's, with fix times of over 3 minutes, even when the device hadn't moved since its last fix. In addition, whereas Nokia's N95 comes with free worldwide street mapping and POIs, the Jack 4 has the barest of GPS utilities, merely offering your position. No maps, no navigation options, nothing. A wasted opportunity. The core applications are what will matter to business professionals though, and there's no doubting that email and office file editing is a relative pleasure with the large thumb keyboard. Each key has just the right amount of resistance, the spacing's perfect for easy thumb typing, and there's a good click to give you feedback. The usual Windows Mobile support for WMV video and WMA and MP3 music files is here, though I doubt many Jack 4 users will use them much. As with Nokia's E61i, it seems that every device needs a camera these days, with the Jack 4 reckoning on 2 megapixels with autofocus. It's an uninspiring camera though, with shots lacking colour and contrast, with video limited to paltry MMS grade video clips, and most of all hampered by an appallingly small and fiddly and badly positioned shutter key. Unless you're a left-hander, you're almost best off using the device upside down. After it's been kitted out with an add-on navigation suite, the Jack 4 would make a solid choice for companies to send out with their mobile staff, and this is backed up by iMate's inclusion of trial versions of their own iMate suite, comprising remote PC file access, device wiping and backup, all over GPRS or Wi-Fi. There's no 3G or faster here, alas. The solid but ultimately uninspiring iMate Jack 4. I wanted to demo on the Nokia N95 how easy it is to edit content and produce home movies that are immediately compatible with the various video blogging services. In other words, how to film, edit and publish video using nothing more than your smartphone. From Gallery, I'm picking a main element such as a video that I want as part of my project, and I'm choosing Edit Video Editor. Although not a patch on Video Studio or any other PC-based package, the S60 video editor is surprisingly comprehensive, as we'll see. Here I'm pressing options and having a browse around the menus. Insert video clip or image is prominent, and we'll use that in a minute. For now I'm using Insert Text, and then telling the video editor what style to apply, in this case a static title. I then tap in a suitable title. Now I'm using Insert Image, in my case, although you can also add extra videos to the timeline. And from the gallery that pops up, I pick the image to use, and I see it added to the current cursor position in the timeline. In this case, I want it before the video, so I'm using Edit Image Move to reposition it. I use Insert Image again as required, building up my video project. And as I'm using a number of static images, some cool transitions will be good. By highlighting the space between each image and pressing Enter, I can choose from half a dozen predefined transitions. Once these are all defined, I decide to add a music soundtrack. I use Insert Sound Clip and pick the music track I want from those on my smartphone. You'll see on the timeline if the music track is long enough. By using Edit Sound, Adjust Volume, I can quieten or amplify it as needed, although there does seem to be a degree of trial and error involved here, as you'll see in a moment. Movie Sound Mixing here, also on the menu, gives a chance to adjust the relative master volumes of the main video track and the accompanying music soundtrack. Now, very important, before doing anything else, check that the output video resolution in settings is set to medium, i.e. 320 by 240 pixels. If you try and work with high, in this case VGA, you'll hit all sorts of RAM limits within the current N95 firmware, though hopefully this will work better for future firmware revisions. I'm using Movie Preview Small to do a quick and dirty check that all is well and that the sound levels are about right. If not, I can nip back and adjust the music volume as needed. Finally, Movie Save renders the video onto my expansion card, ready for uploading to YouTube, Vox, or any other computer or blogging service. And here's the proof, the finished video of a quick trip to West Somerset Railway, all filmed and edited entirely on the smartphone, in this case the Nokia N95. Again, Nokia's claim that their devices are multimedia computers is, I think, pretty apt.
seen the 4160 go out, and with great gusto, and that will be in Minehead in about an hour and 20 minutes time. So goodbye for the moment from West Somerset Railway.
Thank you very much.